Welcome to the largest city you've ever smelled. Before you settle in and drift off to sleep, imagine something unusual. Imagine that tonight, instead of waking up in your own bed tomorrow morning, you open your eyes in medieval London. Not modern London with its underground trains, bright lights, coffee shops, and endless streams of traffic. No, you wake up in London sometime around the 1300s. At first, it sounds exciting. After all, London was already one of the most important cities in Europe. It was a place of merchants, markets, churches, craftsmen, and kings. Thousands of people travelled there seeking opportunity, fortune, and adventure. Surely life in such a famous city could not be that bad. But within a few minutes of arriving, you would discover a problem. A very large problem. The smell. Modern cities have many unpleasant odours from time to time. Yet compared to medieval London, they are practically perfume factories. The first thing that would hit you is not the sight of the city. It would be the smell. A mixture of smoke, animals, mud, sewage, rotting food, leather workshops, fish markets, and thousands upon thousands of people living very close together. And remember, nobody has invented modern sanitation yet. There are no garbage trucks. No sewer systems as we know them. No waste management departments. Everything that a city produces has to go somewhere. Unfortunately, much of it ends up in the streets. As you stand there trying not to breathe too deeply, you begin looking around. The city appears crowded beyond belief. Narrow streets twist between tall wooden buildings. Many houses lean toward one another so closely that neighbours could almost shake hands through upper-floor windows. The roads are uneven. Most are made of dirt, mud, and scattered stones. During rainy weather, they become thick rivers of muck. During dry weather, dust fills the air. Either way, clean shoes are not going to be part of your future. Not that it matters. You probably do not have shoes anymore. At least not modern ones. Instead, you are wearing rough medieval clothing that feels surprisingly heavy and uncomfortable. The fabric scratches your skin. The shoes offer little support. And you are quickly realizing that medieval fashion was designed more for practicality than comfort. Around you, the city is already awake. Merchants shout from market stalls. Blacksmiths hammer glowing metal. Horses pull carts loaded with supplies. Priests move through the streets. Laborers carry sacks of grain. Children run between crowds. Everyone seems busy. Everyone seems to have somewhere important to be. And unlike modern cities, there is almost no quiet. The sounds never stop. Dogs bark. Bells ring. People argue. Animals make noise. Vendors advertise their goods. The entire city feels alive. And perhaps slightly chaotic. Actually, more than slightly. London in the Middle Ages was one of the busiest places most people would ever see. By medieval standards, it was enormous. Tens of thousands of people lived inside and around the city walls. For visitors arriving from small villages, the experience must have felt overwhelming. Imagine spending your entire life in a tiny farming community of a few hundred people. Then suddenly arriving in London. The crowds alone would seem unbelievable. Yet all those people created another problem. Food. Every day, this giant city needed to feed itself. And feeding medieval London was an enormous challenge. Carts arrived carrying grain, vegetables, meat, fish, and countless other supplies. Boats travelled along the River Thames, loaded with goods from across England and beyond. Without these constant deliveries, the city would quickly face shortages. Food was the lifeblood of London. And if supplies were disrupted, everyone felt the consequences. The Thames itself dominates much of city life. The river is London's highway. Its marketplace. Its transportation network. Its connection to the wider world. Boats move constantly along the water. Fishermen haul in catches. Merchants unload cargo. Travellers arrive from distant regions. The river provides opportunities and wealth. Unfortunately, it also serves another purpose. Many people dump waste into it, which means the same river helping sustain life is often helping spread disease as well. This sort of arrangement would make modern health inspectors faint immediately. But medieval people had limited alternatives. Understanding of sanitation remained very basic. People did what they could with the knowledge available to them. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it definitely did not. Now imagine trying to find a place to sleep. Housing in medieval London was expensive. Very expensive. Space inside the city walls was limited. As the population grew, buildings became more crowded. Families squeezed into small homes. Workers rented cramped rooms. Several people might share spaces that modern individuals would consider tiny. Privacy was a rare luxury. Noise was constant. And if you enjoy having your own bedroom, medieval London may not be the ideal destination. Fire presented another serious concern. Most buildings were constructed from wood. Roofs often used thatch or other flammable materials. Open flames were everywhere. Cooking fires, candles, blacksmith forges, heating fires. All it took was one mistake. One spark, one strong wind, and entire sections of the city could be threatened. Londoners understood this danger very well. Fire was one of the greatest fears of urban life. At night, when darkness covered the city, those fears often grew stronger. Without electric lighting, medieval London became a different world after sunset. Torches flickered along streets. Candles glowed behind windows. Shadows stretched across narrow alleys. The darkness felt deeper than anything most modern people ever experience. And darkness brought uncertainty. You could not simply pull out a flashlight. You could not call for help with a phone. Once night arrived, many people preferred staying indoors whenever possible. Of course, danger was not the only thing people found in London. The city also offered opportunities unavailable elsewhere. Skilled craftsmen could build successful careers. Merchants could accumulate wealth. Apprentices could learn valuable trades. Religious institutions provided education to some. Markets offered goods from distant lands. London attracted ambitious people because it represented possibility. But possibility always came with risk. And as fascinating as the city appears, we have not yet discussed the greatest threat of all. The threat hiding behind crowded streets, dirty water, and packed housing. A threat that would eventually kill tens of thousands. A threat that modern people rarely think about when walking through cities. Disease. Because in the next chapter, we will discover why medieval London could be one of the deadliest places on Earth, and why simply surviving a single year there was often an achievement in itself. For now, the bells of the city continue ringing in the distance. The Thames flows quietly beneath the bridges. Market sellers call out to passing crowds. And somewhere among the narrow streets of medieval London, our journey is only beginning. The city that could make you sick. As morning sunlight struggles to reach the narrow streets of medieval London, the city is already alive. Merchants are opening their stalls. Bakers are pulling fresh bread from ovens. Boats are moving along the River Thames. Thousands of people begin another ordinary day. At first glance, everything seems normal. Busy, crowded, and noisy perhaps. But normal. Yet hidden beneath the activity is a danger that follows nearly everyone. A danger that cannot be seen. A danger that medieval people barely understood. Disease. If there is one reason you probably would not survive in medieval London, this is it. Modern people often underestimate how dangerous illness once was. Today, many diseases can be prevented, treated, or cured. Doctors understand how infections spread. Hospitals provide care. Clean water helps stop countless illnesses before they begin. In medieval London, almost none of those protections existed. The city was practically designed to help sickness spread. And unfortunately, sickness took full advantage of the opportunity. Imagine walking through one of London's busy streets. The road beneath your feet is muddy. Animals wander freely. Dogs search for scraps. Pigs occasionally roam through crowded areas. Horse manure covers sections of the roadway. Waste from homes is often thrown outside. Rain mixes everything together into a thick layer of filth. Now imagine thousands of people moving through these same conditions every day. The result is exactly what you would expect. A perfect environment for disease. The biggest problem was sanitation, or rather the lack of it. Most homes had no plumbing, no toilets connected to underground sewer systems, no modern methods for disposing of waste. Many families relied on simple pits or shared facilities. Others emptied waste into streets or nearby waterways. People often shouted warnings before dumping waste from upper windows. This was considered a reasonable safety measure. Whether the pedestrians below agreed is another matter entirely. The River Thames suffered particularly badly. Earlier, we mentioned that the river served as London's transportation network. It also provided water for countless daily activities. People washed clothes there, cleaned objects there, disposed of waste there, and in some cases, obtained water from the same river. You can probably see the problem. Water that should have supported health often became a source of illness. Diseases spread easily through contaminated supplies. Many Londoners did not understand why people became sick. Some blamed bad air. Others believed disease came from divine punishment. Many simply accepted illness as a normal part of life. Without scientific knowledge, finding effective solutions proved incredibly difficult. Then there were the animals. Modern cities separate people and livestock whenever possible. Medieval London often mixed them together. Animals played essential roles in daily life. Horses transporting goods. Chickens provided eggs. Pigs supplied meat. Cows produced milk. These animals helped the city function, but they also created additional health risks. Waste accumulated quickly. Infections could spread, and crowded conditions made everything worse. Markets introduced another challenge. Imagine hundreds of people gathering closely together every day, many arriving from different towns and villages. Some healthy, some carrying illnesses they do not yet realize they have. Crowded marketplaces became ideal locations for diseases to travel from person to person. A cough, a sneeze, a contaminated object. Sometimes that was all it took. Of course, ordinary illnesses were only part of the problem. More serious outbreaks appeared regularly. Fevers, respiratory infections, stomach diseases, skin conditions, a long list of ailments that modern medicine now treats much more effectively. For medieval families, sickness was a constant concern. Parents worried about children. Children worried about parents. Everyone understood how quickly health could change. Imagine waking up one morning feeling perfectly fine, then developing a fever by evening. A fever that continues growing worse. Without doctors possessing modern medical knowledge, the outcome becomes uncertain. Very uncertain. Treatments varied widely. Some remedies involved herbs and natural ingredients. Others relied on traditions passed down through generations. Certain treatments may have provided genuine relief. Others likely accomplished little. And a few probably made situations worse. Medical science was still centuries away from major breakthroughs. People did the best they could with the information available. Sometimes that was enough. Sometimes it was not. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect of disease in medieval London was the unpredictability. No one knew when an outbreak might occur. No one knew exactly how it spread. Rumors moved through the city almost as quickly as sickness itself. One neighborhood hears reports of illness. Another begins worrying. Soon entire communities become anxious. Fear spreads from house to house, street to street, family to family. And when people are frightened, uncertainty often becomes as powerful as the disease itself. Yet life continued. It had to. Markets still opened. Tradesmen still worked. Ships still arrived. Families still cooked meals and cared for children. Most people could not simply stop living whenever sickness appeared. Survival required constant effort. Bills still needed paying. Food still needed acquiring. Responsibilities continued regardless of circumstances. That resilience is one of the most remarkable features of medieval life. Despite enormous risks, people carried on. They adapted. They endured. And somehow the city continued growing. London became larger, busier, more influential, even while disease remained one of its greatest enemies. Of course, illness was not the only challenge facing residents. Another danger affected nearly everyone, rich and poor alike. A danger that arrived every single day. The struggle to obtain enough food. Because despite London's wealth and importance, hunger remained a constant threat. A bad harvest, a disrupted shipment, a harsh winter. Any of these could place thousands of lives at risk. And in our next chapter, we'll explore what medieval Londoners actually ate, and why finding your next meal was often far more difficult than you might imagine. For now, the crowded streets remain busy. The market stalls are full. The Thames continues flowing through the heart of the city. And somewhere among the noise and activity, invisible dangers drift through the air. Most people do not notice them. Most people cannot see them. But they are there, waiting, as they always are. The never-ending search for food. As another day begins in medieval London, the city is already hungry. Not because there is no food. Not because the markets are empty. But because feeding a city this large is one of the greatest challenges of medieval life. Today, most people rarely think about where their next meal will come from. Supermarkets are filled with food. Restaurants deliver meals directly to our doors. Fresh produce arrives year-round from around the world. If one supplier has a problem, another usually takes its place. In medieval London, things worked very differently. Food was never guaranteed, and that reality shaped nearly every aspect of life. Imagine waking up in a small rented room, somewhere inside the city walls. The first concern of the day may not be work. It may not be travel. It may simply be food. What will you eat today? Can you afford it? Will prices rise again? Will supplies arrive? These questions occupy the minds of countless Londoners every single morning. The city depends on an enormous network of farmers, fishermen, merchants, and traders. Every loaf of bread, every barrel of grains, every fish pulled from the Thames, every vegetable sold at market, must somehow make its way into the city. And if that system encounters problems, everyone feels the consequences. Bread sits at the center of medieval diets. It is difficult to overstate how important bread was. Rich people ate bread. Poor people ate bread. Children ate bread. Workers ate bread. Nearly everyone depended on it. In many ways, bread was the foundation upon which daily life rested. A baker's shop is often one of the busiest places in the neighborhood. The smell of fresh bread drifts through narrow streets. Customers line up early. Because without bread, many families struggle. Yet even bread presents challenges. The price of grain can change dramatically. A poor harvest may reduce supply. Bad weather can damage crops. Transportation problems can delay deliveries. And whenever grain becomes scarce, prices rise. Sometimes sharply. For wealthy citizens, higher prices are inconvenient. For poorer families, they can be devastating. Hunger lurks much closer than most modern people realize. Soup and stew are also common meals. Large pots simmer over fires for hours. Vegetables, grains, and whatever ingredients are available are combined into filling dishes. The exact recipe changes constantly. Some days the meal is plentiful. Other days it is not. Medieval cooks become experts at making the most of limited resources. Waste is dangerous. Every scrap matters. Every ingredient has value. Meat appears less frequently for ordinary people than many modern audiences imagine. Wealthy households enjoy greater access to beef, pork, poultry, and game. Ordinary workers often eat meat only occasionally. Fish, however, plays a significant role in city diets. The River Thames provides an important source of food. Fishing boats work constantly. Markets display fresh catches. And religious customs encourage fish consumption during certain periods of the year. Of course, not all fish is equally fresh. Without refrigeration, food preservation becomes a constant challenge. Salted fish is common. Smoked foods are common. Dried foods are common. People develop countless methods for extending the life of their supplies. Because once food spoils, there is little that can be done. And spoiled food can be dangerous. Very dangerous. Fresh fruit and vegetables appear seasonally. Modern shoppers expect nearly every type of produce throughout the year. Medieval Londoners do not have that luxury. The seasons control everything. Certain foods become abundant during harvest periods, then disappear for months. Winter creates particular difficulties. Supplies must last. Families plan carefully. Communities hope that previous harvests were successful. A harsh winter can place tremendous pressure on food stores. Every year carries uncertainty. Every season brings new challenges. Markets themselves are fascinating places. Imagine walking through London's busiest marketplace. The air is filled with voices. Merchants call out prices. Buyers negotiate fiercely. Chickens squawk. Dogs wander beneath crowded stalls. Carts roll through narrow spaces. The smell of bread mixes with fish, spices, leather, smoke, and countless other scents. The experience overwhelms the senses. Yet for many Londoners, markets represent opportunity. Here they can purchase necessities, find work, exchange news, meet travelers, learn about events occurring across the kingdom. The marketplace serves as both economic center and social gathering place. It is one of the beating hearts of the city. Unfortunately, markets also reveal another reality. Poverty. Not everyone can afford what they need. Some families struggle constantly. Day laborers depend on finding work. Apprentices earn little. Widows often face financial difficulties. Orphans face even greater challenges. Medieval London contains wealth, but it also contains hardship. The contrast is impossible to ignore. One merchant may enjoy considerable success. Another family nearby may worry about their next meal. Both realities exist side by side. And then there are the occasional disasters. A poor harvest, a flood, political unrest, war. Any disruption can affect food supplies. When shortages occur, prices rise rapidly. Panic sometimes follows. Crowds grow anxious. Authorities attempt to maintain order. Everyone hopes conditions improve quickly. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do not. These moments remind Londoners how fragile their food system truly is. Modern cities rely on complex supply chains. Medieval London does too. The difference is that medieval supply chains are far less reliable. One bad season can affect thousands of lives. One failed harvest can change everything. And despite all these challenges, people continue eating, working, trading, and surviving. They adapt because they must. They become resourceful because necessity demands it. Hunger remains a constant threat. Yet life moves forward. It always does. As evening falls, cooking fires begin glowing across the city. The smell of meals drifts from windows and alleyways. Families gather together. Workers finally rest after long days. Bread is broken. Soup is served. Conversations fill crowded rooms. For a few hours, the struggle for food pauses. Tomorrow it begins again. But another challenge awaits us. One even more dangerous than hunger. Because in the next chapter, we'll explore crime, punishment, and the dark side of medieval London, and why wandering down the wrong street could completely change your life. The bells ring softly in the distance. The markets slowly close. The city settles into darkness. And somewhere beyond the torchlight, danger waits. The streets after dark. As the sun begins to disappear behind the rooftops of medieval London, the city changes. During the day, the streets are crowded with merchants, craftsmen, priests, labourers, and travellers. There is noise everywhere. Market stalls are busy, church bells ring, carts rattle over uneven roads. But when darkness arrives, a different London emerges. And if you were a modern visitor, this is probably the time when you would start feeling very nervous. Today, cities remain active long after sunset. Streetlights illuminate roads, stores stay open, emergency services operate around the clock. Most people can move through urban areas with relative confidence. Medieval London offers none of these comforts. Night belongs to uncertainty. The first thing you notice is how dark everything becomes. Modern people rarely experience true darkness. Even in small towns, electric lights glow from homes, roads, and businesses. Medieval London has no electricity. Once the sun disappears, only candles, lanterns, fireplaces, and torches provide light. Most streets remain dimly illuminated at best. Many are almost completely black. A narrow alley that appears harmless during the day can feel terrifying after sunset. Every shadow seems larger. Every sound feels closer. Your imagination begins filling the darkness with possibilities. And sometimes those possibilities are justified. Crime exists in every city. Medieval London is no exception. In fact, certain types of crime are surprisingly common. Pickpockets target crowded marketplaces. Thieves search for opportunities. Burglars look for poorly secured homes. Travelers carrying valuable goods must remain alert. Money is difficult to earn and easy to lose. For many criminals, desperation plays a major role. Poverty affects large portions of the population. When people struggle to survive, some eventually turn toward theft. This does not excuse the behavior, but it helps explain why crime remains a constant concern. Imagine walking through a crowded market carrying your weekly wages. There are no credit cards, no online banking, no secure digital accounts. Your money is physically on your person. If someone steals it, recovering it may be impossible. Suddenly, every crowded street feels much more dangerous. London authorities attempt to maintain order. Watchmen patrol certain areas. Local officials investigate crimes. Citizens sometimes help capture suspects. Yet law enforcement remains limited compared to modern standards. There are no forensic laboratories, no surveillance cameras, no fingerprint databases. Solving crimes often depends upon witnesses, confessions, and community knowledge. If a criminal escapes into the maze of London streets, finding them may prove difficult. Very difficult. Of course, medieval justice has its own reputation. And honestly, some of that reputation is deserved. Punishments can be harsh. Public punishments are especially common. Authorities believe visible consequences discourage future crimes. If people witness punishment firsthand, perhaps they will think twice before breaking the law. At least that is the theory. Public squares sometimes become stages for justice. Crowds gather. Rumors spread quickly. News travels through neighborhoods. For many Londoners, public punishments are both serious events and unusual forms of entertainment. A strange combination by modern standards. Yet medieval societies often view crime and punishment very differently from how we do today. Maintaining order is considered essential, and authorities are often willing to impose severe penalties to achieve it. But criminals are not the only danger after dark. The city itself can be threatening. Remember those narrow streets lined with wooden buildings. At night, navigating them becomes difficult. Roads are uneven. Obstacles appear unexpectedly. Open drains create hazards. A simple misstep could result in injury. And injuries are far more serious when modern medical care does not exist. Even getting lost can become problematic. Medieval London is a maze. Streets twist in confusing directions. New visitors often struggle to navigate. Landmarks help. Church towers help. Familiar neighborhoods help. But once darkness covers the city, everything becomes more confusing. A wrong turn may leave you wandering unfamiliar areas for hours. Then there is fire. Earlier, we discussed how vulnerable London is to flames. At night, that danger increases. Candles remain lit. Cooking fires continue burning. Lanterns move through crowded spaces. One accident can trigger catastrophe. And because buildings stand so closely together, flames spread rapidly. Londoners live with this risk constantly. Every evening carries a small degree of uncertainty. Most nights pass peacefully. Some do not. Yet despite these dangers, nighttime is not entirely unpleasant. There is another side to medieval evenings. Families gather together around fires. Friends share stories. Travelers exchange news from distant regions. Musicians occasionally perform in taverns. Children listen to tales about heroes, saints, monsters, and kings. In a world without television, movies, or smartphones, storytelling becomes one of the most important forms of entertainment. People possess incredible memories. They remember legends, songs, and local history. Entire communities are connected through stories passed from generation to generation. Imagine sitting beside a warm fire while rain taps gently against the roof. The room glows with candlelight. Someone begins telling a story. Perhaps it is about a brave knight. Perhaps a ghost. Perhaps a local mystery. Everyone listens carefully. For a little while, the hardships of daily life fade into the background. These moments remind us that medieval London is more than dirt, disease, and danger. It is also a city filled with human beings. People who laugh. People who dream. People who enjoy companionship. People who seek comfort after difficult days. In many ways, they are not so different from us. Yet one challenge remains greater than crime, hunger, or darkness. A challenge so devastating that it can transform the entire city. A challenge that arrives without warning and leaves death in its wake. Disease on a scale almost impossible to imagine. Because in the next chapter, we will witness the arrival of one of the most terrifying events in human history. The Black Death. And when it reaches London, nothing will ever be the same again. For now, the city sleeps beneath a blanket of darkness. The torches burn low. The watchmen continue their rounds. And somewhere in the shadows, medieval London waits for another dawn. When the Black Death arrived. As dawn breaks over medieval London, the city looks much the same as it always has. The market stalls are opening. Boats are moving along the River Thames. Church bells echo through the streets. Merchants are preparing for another day of business. At first glance, everything appears normal. But beneath the surface, something terrible is approaching. Something that will change London forever. News begins arriving from distant ports and trading towns. Travelers tell strange stories. Entire communities becoming sick. Families disappearing. Villages falling silent. At first, many people dismissed the rumors. After all, frightening stories travel quickly, and not all of them are true. But soon the reports become impossible to ignore. The sickness is real, and it is moving closer, much closer. Today we know this catastrophe as the Black Death, one of the deadliest pandemics in human history. But the people of medieval London do not know what is coming. They have no understanding of bacteria, no concept of infectious disease as modern science explains it, no antibiotics, no vaccines, no hospitals capable of stopping what is about to unfold. They are facing an enemy they cannot see and do not understand. And that makes it even more terrifying. Imagine hearing whispers in the marketplace. Someone's cousin became ill in another town. A merchant's family disappeared unexpectedly. Travelers arriving from abroad speak of entire streets standing empty. The rumors spread faster every day. Fear begins growing. Yet daily life continues. People still need food. Work still needs doing. Children still need caring for. Most Londoners hope the danger will pass them by. Unfortunately, it does not. When the plague finally reaches London, it spreads with frightening speed. The city is almost perfectly designed for disease. Crowded housing, narrow streets, poor sanitation, constant movement of people and goods. Everything helps the illness travel. Families who were healthy one week may be devastated the next. Entire households fall sick. Neighbors disappear. Shops close. Fear settles over the city like a dark cloud. The symptoms are horrifying. Victims often develop fevers, extreme weakness, pain throughout the body, and swollen lumps that become one of the disease's most recognizable signs. To medieval observers, the illness seems unstoppable. One day a person appears healthy. A few days later, they may be gone. Imagine the fear this creates. Every cough becomes alarming. Every fever sparks concern. Every unusual symptom raises questions. Is it the plague? Will the family survive? Who might be next? Nobody knows. And uncertainty makes everything worse. Modern people are accustomed to receiving medical explanations. Doctors identify diseases. Scientists study outbreaks. Governments provide information. Medieval London possesses none of these advantages. Many people search desperately for answers. Some believe the disease is punishment from God. Others blame bad air. Others look for entirely different explanations. Without scientific understanding, fear fills the gaps. And fear can spread almost as quickly as disease itself. The city's churches become especially important during this time. People gather to pray, seek comfort, search for meaning. Religious faith provides strength for many families facing unimaginable loss. Even when answers remain elusive, community and belief help people endure. Yet prayer alone cannot stop the plague. The deaths continue, day after day, week after week. The city's rhythm begins changing. Streets that were once crowded become quieter. Businesses struggle. Trade slows. Entire neighborhoods feel different. People avoid unnecessary contact whenever possible. Though they do not fully understand why, many recognize that proximity seems dangerous. Some wealthy families attempt to leave the city. They hope isolation will provide protection. Some succeed. Others do not. The disease often travels faster than people expect. For ordinary workers, leaving is rarely an option. They must remain where their jobs, homes, and families are located. And so they endure, as best they can. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of the Black Death is its unpredictability. No one knows who will survive. Wealth offers some advantages, but it does not guarantee safety. The disease strikes rich and poor alike. merchants, laborers, priests, children, nobles, everyone lives beneath the same shadow. For the first time in many lives, social differences seem less important than simple survival. Entire communities mourn together. Entire communities fear together. Entire communities hope together. And somehow, despite everything, people continue helping one another. Neighbors care for neighbors. Families support relatives. Religious institutions provide assistance. Acts of kindness appear even during the darkest moments. History often remembers disasters for their suffering. But disasters also reveal courage. They reveal compassion. They reveal the extraordinary resilience of ordinary people. And medieval London provides many examples of all three. Eventually, the worst of the outbreak begins to pass. Not because anyone discovers a cure. Not because a miracle suddenly occurs. But because epidemics eventually burn themselves out. The cost, however, is enormous. Tens of thousands are gone. Families are changed forever. The city itself has been transformed. Nothing will ever feel quite the same again. Yet remarkably, London survives. Wounded, grieving, smaller, but still standing. Markets reopen. Trade resumes. New generations grow up. Life slowly returns. Because cities, like people, possess a remarkable ability to endure hardship. And London's story is far from over. In fact, new opportunities are beginning to emerge. Opportunities created by the very tragedy that caused so much suffering. Because in our next chapter, we'll explore how work, wealth, and social mobility changed after the Black Death, and why surviving the plague sometimes created unexpected possibilities. For now, the bells ring softly across the recovering city. The Thames continues flowing toward the sea. And London, against all odds, carries on, the unexpected opportunities after disaster. As the years pass after the Black Death, medieval London begins to heal. The streets are still familiar. The markets still operate. The River Thames still carries boats through the heart of the city. But something has changed. Something important. The city that existed before the plague is gone. A new London is slowly taking its place. For those who survived, life remains difficult. Yet for the first time in generations, unexpected opportunities begin to appear. It sounds strange to say. After all, how could anything positive emerge from such a terrible disaster? But history is often complicated. And sometimes massive changes create surprising consequences. Before the plague, London was crowded with workers. There were always people available to perform difficult jobs. Labour was plentiful. Employers had many choices. Workers had fewer. But after the Black Death, everything changes. Suddenly there are fewer people. Far fewer. Fields still need tending. Shops still need employees. Buildings still need repairs. Goods still need transportation. Yet many of the workers who once performed these tasks are gone. The result is something medieval England has rarely experienced. A labour shortage. For surviving workers, this creates opportunities. Employers begin competing for labour. Wages rise in some areas. Skilled workers become more valuable. Apprentices can sometimes negotiate better conditions. Families that once struggled to survive occasionally find themselves in stronger positions. The changes are not immediate, and they are not equal for everyone, but they are real. Imagine being a young apprentice learning a trade in London. Before the plague, advancement may have been slow. Competition may have been intense. Now opportunities appear more frequently. A skilled blacksmith becomes valuable. A talented carpenter becomes valuable. A trained mason becomes valuable. The city needs workers, and workers know it. Authorities do not always welcome these developments. Some leaders worry about rising wages. Others worry about changing social structures. Laws are sometimes introduced to limit what workers can charge for their labor. Governments attempt to restore old economic arrangements. But history rarely moves backwards so easily. Once people recognize new possibilities, expectations begin to change. Slowly, unevenly, but undeniably, London's craftsmen become increasingly important. The city is famous for its guilds, organizations that represent various trades and professions. Blacksmiths, bakers, tailors, carpenters, goldsmiths, and many others. These guilds help regulate quality, training, and business practices. For ambitious young people, joining a guild can offer a path towards stability and success. Of course, becoming a master craftsman requires years of work. Apprenticeships are long. Training is demanding. Mistakes are costly. Yet compared to many alternatives, skilled trades offer genuine opportunities. And opportunities matter, especially in a world where social mobility is often limited. The city itself continues growing more sophisticated. Trade expands. Merchants establish new connections. Goods arrive from increasingly distant places. London becomes a centre of commerce, a place where fortunes can occasionally be made. Not easily, not quickly, but sometimes. Imagine walking through a busy market several decades after the plague. You hear languages from different regions, see fabrics from distant countries, smell spices that travelled hundreds or even thousands of miles. The city feels connected to a much larger world. Because it is. Medieval London is not isolated. It participates in vast networks of trade stretching across Europe and beyond. Ships bring valuable goods. Merchants exchange information. Ideas travel alongside products. The city grows richer through these connections. Yet wealth remains unevenly distributed. Some families prosper. Others continue struggling. Poverty has not disappeared. Hunger has not disappeared. Disease certainly has not disappeared. Life remains difficult for many Londoners. The plague may have changed society, but it has not transformed it into paradise. Not even close. For ordinary workers, daily life still requires tremendous effort. Long hours, physical labor, uncertain incomes, crowded living conditions. These realities remain familiar. The difference is that some individuals now possess greater leverage than before. Greater bargaining power, greater opportunities, greater hope. And hope can be a powerful force, especially after years of hardship. The city's skyline also begins evolving. Construction projects continue. Churches expand. Homes are rebuilt. Workshops multiply. London constantly reinvents itself. Fire destroys sections. Disease changes neighborhoods. New generations arrive. Yet somehow the city endures. It adapts. Again and again. That adaptability may be London's greatest strength. Through wars, through epidemics, through political upheaval, the city survives. Not because life is easy, but because its people refuse to give up. They rebuild. They innovate. They move forward, even when circumstances seem impossible. As evening falls, the streets remain busy. Merchants count earnings. Craftsmen finish their work. Apprentices sweep workshop floors. Families gather for meals. The city hums with activity. Life feels normal once more, or at least as normal as medieval life can ever be. Yet another challenge is approaching, one that affects rich and poor alike, one that shapes every decision people make, one that determines whether London thrives or suffers. The challenge of power. Kings, politics, rebellions, and the constant struggle for control. Because in the next chapter, we'll explore how politics and royal power shaped life in medieval London, and why ordinary citizens often found themselves caught in events far beyond their control. For now, the marketplace grows quieter. The river reflects the fading light of the evening sky, and London continues its long journey into the future. Kings, rebellions, and life under power. As you walk through the crowded streets of medieval London, it is easy to think that the city belongs to the merchants, craftsmen, labourers, and families who fill its neighbourhoods. After all, they are the people you see every day. They run the shops, bake the bread, build the houses, load the ships, and keep the city alive. But in reality, another force shapes nearly every aspect of their lives. Power, specifically the power of kings, nobles, and governments. Most ordinary Londoners will never sit beside a king. They will never attend a royal council. They will never help create laws. Yet decisions made by powerful people can completely transform their lives. And that is one reason surviving medieval London is so difficult. Because your future often depends on events you cannot control. Imagine waking up one morning and learning that the king has introduced a new tax. You did not vote for it. You were not consulted about it. You may not even understand why it exists. But you still have to pay it. This was a common reality for medieval people. Governments needed money. Wars cost money. Castles cost money. Royal households cost money. And much of that money ultimately came from ordinary citizens. Taxes could become a major source of frustration, especially during difficult times. If harvests were poor, people still faced financial obligations. If trade slowed, taxes remained. If families struggled, the king's collectors rarely disappeared out of sympathy. This tension between rulers and ordinary people appears throughout medieval history. And sometimes that tension explodes. One of the most dramatic examples occurs in 1381, an event known today as the Peasants' Revolt. News spreads quickly across England. Many people are angry about taxes and economic conditions. Workers feel mistreated. Farmers feel burdened. Frustration has been building for years. Eventually, thousands decide they have had enough. Groups of rebels begin moving toward London. As rumours spread through the city, anxiety grows. Imagine standing near one of London's gates as reports arrive. Large crowds are approaching. Armed crowds. Determined crowds. Nobody knows exactly what will happen next. Fear fills the air. Then the rebels arrive. And suddenly London finds itself at the centre of a national crisis. Streets become crowded with protesters. Government officials panic. Important buildings are targeted. Authority itself is challenged. For ordinary citizens, the situation is deeply unsettling. Many sympathise with the complaints. Others fear violence. Most simply want to survive. Yet when major political events unfold, remaining neutral is not always easy. The revolt eventually ends. Its leaders are defeated. Royal authority is restored. But the event leaves a lasting impression. It demonstrates that ordinary people can influence history. It demonstrates that frustration has limits. And it reminds rulers that public anger cannot always be ignored. Of course, rebellions are only one source of political instability. Medieval England experiences frequent power struggles. Kings come and go. Successions create uncertainty. Rival noble families compete for influence. Foreign conflicts drain resources. Political alliances shift constantly. For people living in London, these events are not abstract headlines. They have real consequences. A new king may change policies. A war may increase taxes. A political dispute may disrupt trade. Decisions made at the highest levels eventually reach the streets below. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. but almost always eventually. Wars are especially disruptive. Medieval kings frequently engage in military campaigns. Some seek territory, others defend existing lands. Some pursue personal ambitions. Whatever the reason, warfare requires resources. Soldiers need equipment. Armies need supplies. Governments need money. Ordinary citizens often provide all three. Even people far from battlefields feel the effects. Prices rise. Trade routes become less reliable. Taxes increase. Families worry about relatives serving in military campaigns. The consequences spread throughout society. Yet despite these challenges, London continues growing in importance. In fact, political power often makes the city even more significant. Kings visit regularly. Royal ceremonies take place there. Government institutions become increasingly concentrated within the city. Important decisions are made nearby. London evolves into the political heart of England. With that status comes opportunity. Merchants benefit from royal attention. Craftsmen receive important commissions. Travelers arrive seeking influence. Business thrives around centers of power. Yet opportunity and risk remain inseparable companions. A city close to power is also a city vulnerable to political turmoil. Every major decision creates winners and losers. Every conflict produces uncertainty. Every change in leadership generates new questions. Medieval Londoners learn to live with this reality. They adapt because they have no alternative. They focus on daily responsibilities. Feeding families, running businesses, practicing trades, building communities. Life continues regardless of who sits on the throne. And perhaps that is one of history's most important lessons. While kings and nobles dominate many historical records, ordinary people keep society functioning. Governments may issue orders, but bakers still bake bread. Fishermen still catch fish. Carpenters still build homes. Parents still raise children. Daily life marches forward, even during periods of political chaos. As night falls over London, the city's great churches stand silhouetted against the darkening sky. The Thames reflects flickering torchlight. Somewhere inside a royal palace, important decisions are being made. Somewhere inside a modest home, a family shares a simple meal. Both worlds exist side by side. Both help shape history. And both are part of London's story. Yet our journey is almost complete. One final chapter remains. A chapter that brings together everything we have learned. Disease, hunger, crime, power, survival. Because in the final part of this documentary, we will answer the question that brought us here in the first place. Why wouldn't you survive in medieval London? Why you probably wouldn't last a year? As our journey through medieval London comes to an end, imagine standing on a hill overlooking the city one final time. The sun is setting. Smoke rises from thousands of chimneys. Church bells echo across the rooftops. The River Thames winds through the heart of the city, carrying boats toward distant horizons. From a distance, London looks magnificent. A city of opportunity. A city of wealth. A city of ambition. And in many ways, it truly is. But now that we have explored its streets, markets, homes, and dangers, a different picture emerges. Because beneath the excitement lies a difficult truth. If most modern people were suddenly transporting to medieval London, they probably would not survive very long. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack courage, but because they would be entering a world that demands skills, endurance, and resilience that few of us have ever needed to develop. Think about everything we take for granted today. Clean drinking water, reliable food supplies, modern medicine, safe housing, electric lighting, efficient transportation, emergency services, weather forecasts, vaccinations, sewage systems. Most of these things are invisible parts of daily life. We rarely notice them because they work so well. But remove them all at once, and survival becomes much more difficult. That was the reality medieval Londoners faced every day. Consider disease alone. Throughout this documentary, we have seen how illness shaped urban life. Contaminated water, crowded housing, limited medical knowledge, frequent outbreaks. These factors created conditions that modern people would find shocking. Many illnesses that are now easily treated once carried serious risks. A simple infection could become life-threatening. A fever could become fatal. Even minor injuries demanded caution. Today, a scraped knee is usually a small inconvenience. In medieval London, it might become something far more dangerous. Then there is food. Modern cities rarely worry about annual harvest failures. Medieval cities do. Every year brings uncertainty. Weather affects crops. Crops affect prices. Prices affect survival. One bad season can trigger hardship across entire communities. Hunger remains a constant possibility. Not every day, not every year, but often enough that people never forget the risk. Imagine carrying that uncertainty with you throughout your life. Crime and personal safety present another challenge. We discuss the dark streets, the limited law enforcement, the dangers of nighttime travel. Modern people often expect a certain level of public security. Medieval London cannot always provide it. Citizens must rely heavily on community connections, local knowledge, and personal caution. Being unfamiliar with the city would place you at an immediate disadvantage. And then there is the work. Endless work. Physical work. Demanding work. Most modern jobs involve technology that reduces effort. Medieval labor depends heavily on human strength. Carrying goods, building structures, preparing food, cleaning homes, working long hours with few conveniences. The average modern person would likely find the workload exhausting, at least initially. Yet perhaps the most difficult challenge would not be physical. It would be psychological. Modern people are accustomed to certainty. We expect information. We expect explanations. We expect solutions. Medieval life often provides none of these things. A disease appears. Nobody fully understands why. A harvest fails. Nobody knows what next year will bring. Political changes occur. Ordinary citizens have little influence over them. Uncertainty becomes a permanent companion. And learning to live with uncertainty requires tremendous resilience. Yet despite all these hardships, medieval Londoners survive. Not all of them. Certainly not all. But many do. They adapt to their circumstances. They develop practical skills. They build strong communities. They help one another. They learn how to navigate dangers that would overwhelm outsiders. In many ways, survival itself becomes a form of expertise. A medieval child grows up learning lessons that modern people never need to consider. How to recognize spoiled food. How to avoid dangerous neighborhoods. How to preserve supplies through winter. How to work with limited resources. How to endure hardship. These skills are not optional. They are essential. And over time they become second nature. Perhaps that is the most important lesson of all. The people of medieval London were not superhuman. They were ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges. They worried about their families, dreamed about better futures, celebrated successes, mourned losses, laughed with friends, complained about work, and tried to build meaningful lives in an often difficult world. The city itself reflects that same resilience. Fires damage it. Diseases strike it. Political conflicts disrupt it. Yet London survives. Again and again. Century after century. Growing stronger each time. The medieval city eventually transforms into the modern metropolis we know today. But beneath the skyscrapers and trains, beneath the modern streets and buildings, traces of that older London still remain. The city remembers, even if most people do not. And so, as darkness settles over the medieval rooftops one final time, we return to the question that began our journey. Why wouldn't you survive in medieval London? Because survival there required more than luck. It required endurance, adaptability, practical knowledge, physical strength, community support, and a willingness to face uncertainty every single day. Most modern people have never needed those skills to the same degree. Medieval London demanded them constantly. Yet for those who lived there, this difficult city was also home. It was where families were raised, friendships were formed, businesses were built, dreams were pursued, and history was made. So perhaps the better question is not whether you would survive medieval London. Perhaps the better question is whether you could learn to become the kind of person who could. As the bells ring softly across the city and the Thames flows quietly beneath the moonlight, our journey comes to an end. Thank you for joining this bedtime history documentary. May your evening be peaceful, your thoughts be calm, and your dreams carry you gently through the forgotten streets of the past. Good night.